guys. Jeanette. Usually I say I'm back for more reactions, but that's not what this video is about today. Yeah, so today is Friday. It's been about 4 or 5 days. Technically 5 days. I don't know. That's not important. The thing is, it's been, several days since the news of Jonghyun. I wasn't sure if I was going to make a video about it, but I felt if you don't follow me on Twitter and you don't follow me on Instagram, then you might not have seen kind of my reaction to the news. So I figured if you just follow me on YouTube and you're wondering how I feel about it and what I'm thinking, I'll do a kind of quick video about it. I don't even know where to start. I guess, when I literally, it was the first thing I saw when I woke up Monday morning. I was getting up for work, and what I always do is I get up for work and I check my Twitter feed. Excuse me. I get up and I check my Twitter feed. That's the very first thing I do every morning. And yeah, the first thing, not the first thing I saw, but one of the first things I saw on my Twitter feed was the news, and I honestly did not believe it. I immediately sat up in my bed. I was like, no, this isn't real. This is false. They're mistaking him from someone else, or and then of course I started seeing things oh, he's on the way to the hospital, so he could be fine, whatever. So I was like, okay, no, he's totally fine. He's fine. That's just what I kept telling myself. But at that point, it was actually already I was late to the news, so at that point they had already confirmed his death, and so then I eventually started seeing those headlines, and I just cried. I was honestly, I was almost late to work because I just spent a good 30 minutes crying in bed and just not really being able to process it. And then I was like, great, I gotta go to work now. And I gotta go to work, and I have to be a normal person at work. Everybody at my job knows I love K-pop, so it's not like I had to hide that factor. But they're not gonna probably know about this kind of news. So I was just I gotta go to work. And I tried to I almost wanted to give off this or this vibe of don't mess with me today. So I kind of dressed in all black, and I went in very kind of serious, and I was trying not to be as I don't know, I'm not really a bubbly person, but I'm a relatively nice person, so I was just trying to be a little more on my quiet side and just not talk to people as much. And that's kind of basically what I did. And a lot of people, if you follow me on Twitter and follow me on Instagram, I talked about this, but I did break down at work. And it was because, during my lunch break, I'm also, again, on Twitter keeping up with news. And that's when I found out that Jonghyun wrote the song Breathe by Aloha. And I mentioned this, like I said, on Twitter and on my Instagram, but that song is really important to me right now. I've listened to it a lot. But I only knew it actually because Sohyung, if you know who Sohyung is, she sang it on King of Masked Singer. She's not from anything. She's just Sohyung. She sang it on King of Masked Singer, and so I've downloaded all of her performance. She's been my favorite performer ever on King of Masked Singer, and I downloaded all of her songs, and I listen to them daily. And that one right now is the one that's been my favorite song, my kind of go-to song, my kind of when I need it song. And honestly, whenever I used to listen to it, I would sometimes even just randomly cry because of how beautiful the song is, how beautiful she sings it, the message of the song, because I know what it means and stuff now. But I mentioned on my posts, my social media posts, I mentioned I cried the first time I even heard it without even knowing what it meant, because it was just so beautiful. But anyway, the point is I didn't know Jonghyun wrote that song, and so when I found that out, I literally bust into tears, and I was I can't say I was curled into a ball because I was sitting in my chair in the break room, but I was hunched over sobbing, and I was if somebody walks in right now, they're gonna be what is going on? Luckily no one was in the break room, but if somebody walked in, they would have been what? Is it something okay? But then it's what do I tell them? You know what I mean? That's something I've also talked about on social media. What do I tell someone when they ask me about this? Like I said, they all know I love K-pop, and none of them judge me for that. I work at a store that's very we all have very nerdy interests. like that's kind of like our thing, is like we all are interested in really like nerdy and geeky stuff, but like I don't think they would understand me crying over his death as hard as I was in that moment. Like they would think something was seriously wrong, like a family member had died or something like that. And obviously, you know, I'm not a family member, but like it felt like losing someone that important in your life, because I didn't realize Jonghyun had that much of an effect on my life, because that song had a large effect on my life. And to know that Jonghyun was the one that wrote it was just, it broke me in that moment. And I don't know, I was heartbroken. So luckily I had enough time to kind of get myself together and go back out to work and try to act normal for the rest of the day. And then on my way home, I listened to Breathe, and that's when I felt like honestly a little better. And I breathed, and all I heard was, you know, the message of that song and what Jonghyun was trying to portray in that song. And I just kind of had a big exhale, and I was like, okay, I can do this. Like I can make it through today, and I can make it through tomorrow, and I can make it through my life. Like, you know, even though he struggled and he could not make it, I felt comforted by something he had made and felt like I could make it. I've mentioned on both social media, I don't know if I mentioned it on my videos, maybe a little bit if you look at some of my videos I did before, like early in the summer, when I talked about I needed a break from YouTube, and I took the kind of about a month break from YouTube as far as doing reactions. And I was kind of struggling at that time, and in general, like, I think I'm still kind of struggling. I'm still having good and bad days, but more good days than bad days. So, like I said, that song Breathe was really like one of the songs that really have been comforting to me lately. So like I said, finding out Jonghyun wrote it just was a lot. But anyway, basically just that, you know, I was able to make it through that day, and I've been able to make it through, you know, every day since then. You know, it's gotten easier and easier. Like I pretty much the first 2 days, anytime anything happened or was related to him that I read about or watched or anything, I busted into tears. So like for the first 2 days, I was just crying a lot. Then eventually it got to the point where I could kind of hold it back, and I was kind of like, okay, you know, this is the reality. This is what's happening. Like I can kind of process it. Because I guess I don't know if I should have prefaced with this, but like in case y'all don't know, like I know I am, you know, hardcore army, but I wouldn't consider myself a Shaywall. And I know a lot of people are out there being like, oh, you don't have to say, but I'm not a Shaywall. Like it's kind of like, well, I don't want to like disrespect Shaywall. Well, not disrespect Shaywalls. What am I trying to say? I don't want y'all to think that like, oh, I'm like a hardcore Shaywall and that's why like this is affecting me. No, it's just like as a K-pop fan in general, it's affecting me. So I just wanted to make that distinction. Like I'm just a fan of SHINee, and I love SHINee, and I really do. I just honestly, I haven't even had the time to become a Shaywall. Like I think A, if I got into K-pop way sooner, I would have been a Shaywall for sure. And B, if I had more time before this happened to get into SHINee, I might even consider myself a Shaywall. Like I think honestly that would have been like my third group after B, you know, because I became army first and a baby, and I think Shaywall was, you know, coming. And so I'm just saying, like I didn't get to that point yet. I don't know SHINee all that well, but what I knew of Jonghyun, really honestly, that was yeah. Whatever. I don't really know what I'm saying. I'm sorry if this is like really jumbled and like doesn't make sense and I sound stupid, and you know, you can criticize anything I'm saying if you want. I really don't care. I just felt I wanted anyone who watches my channel to know how I felt about the situation, because I hadn't had a chance to talk on it yet. Like talk. I haven't talked to anyone in person. That's not true. Actually, I should mention there is one other coworker I have at my job that likes K-pop too, and but I only see her every once in a while. So I did see her the second day, the day after, and we talked a little bit about it, but like we didn't really get all that into it because we were like both like kind of working, and it just, we didn't have the time. But like in general, I haven't really like talked to anybody except for a couple friends on Twitter, but I haven't like talked out loud to anyone. So I did watch the funeral procession. Sorry, I did watch that. And honestly, I was surprised I was able to watch it without crying, because at first I was like, I'm not watching that. I can't watch that. I'm gonna just like cry like the whole time. And then I was like, no, I have to watch this, because if I put it off and I don't think about it, like that's basically just being like, just trying to ignore the issue, and that's not good. So I was like, I need to just watch it, accept it, and try to move on. And so I did, and honestly, I was surprised I didn't cry, but I think it's because I said this on Twitter. I think it's because it didn't seem real. Like, it did not seem like, wow, am I crying right now thinking about it? But like watching it was like, this is not real. Like, as weird as it would sound, as it felt like a scene from a K-drama. Like, you know, you're just watching the scene and like you're seeing like, because like especially with like again, sorry if any of this sounds like rude or offensive, but like especially with like most of SHINee having done acting jobs, like and I've seen all those dramas, by the way, like I'm used to seeing them in those kind of roles of like, you know, being sad. So it's like, it almost didn't feel real. Like I couldn't connect that this was a real situation, like that he was legit in that coffin, and like SHINee was carrying them, and Super Junior was there, and SNSD was there, and like Minho's face and Key, and like in that moment I did not cry. I was just watching it kind of like, oh wow, there's Key. Oh, is that his mom, or maybe his sister is there? And wow, look at Minho, wow. Like I watched it without like any emotion. Like I watched it just blank and just, but like now thinking about it, just thinking about how, oh my god, I did not think I was gonna cry. I thought I could get through this without crying. Anyway, I just, in that moment, it didn't hit me that was a real situation, and I just could, because it's like, I never in my wildest dreams would I imagined that happening. So yeah, it was hard. It wasn't hard, because like I said, I was able to watch it without really crying. It was just, it's been hard, I should say. It's been hard, and the emotions have been all over the place. A lot of people have mentioned that too with them. Like, they just, how do you process this? How do you handle this? Especially when it's like, there's not a lot of people in your life that's gonna understand what you're going through and understand what's happening with you right now, because they wouldn't relate to it. They wouldn't relate to K-pop. I have had a lot of real life friends that reach out to me. Like I've had a lot of, like my sister has texted me and called me and been like, oh, are you okay? I heard about Jonghyun. And then I had a friend like Facebook message me and say, hey, are you good? Like, is anything going on? Like, because they've seen my social media posts and they've seen the things I've been saying, and I'm like, I appreciate that. Like I specifically said the things I said in those posts because I wanted people to understand how much it affected me and how much it was hurting me. Like, I wanted people to know, but like, I didn't expect them to understand, but it comforted me to know that they wanted to reach out to me and wanted to talk to me about it. So that's honestly been a huge comfort. But like I said, I don't have anyone like K-pop that I can like physically talk to. I didn't really mean to make this long. I was just trying to get like my basic thoughts across, but I just kept thinking of all the stuff I wanted to say. If there's, honestly, anything else you guys wanted to know about my experience with this, I guess, best place to talk to me is on Twitter. I am on Twitter all the time. That's kind of become basically my new platform of like communicating with people. I'm just really bad at checking my YouTube comments. I mean, I read them, but I just don't like, I just read them and then I don't respond. I don't know what it is. I think it's just because like, there's not like a good like mobile way for me to respond to comments. Because when I respond to them on my YouTube mobile, it just, I don't know, it doesn't work as well. So like with Twitter, it's like I can just like on my phone just respond right away. Whereas like if I have to respond to YouTube, I have to go on my computer, and I don't always have my computer with me, and yeah. Instagram, you can also hit me up on. I will, if you like, you know, DM me or, you know, comment at me, I'll probably respond to you. But like, not a lot of people comment and talk to me on Insta, so that's kind of why Twitter is more the best place to get in touch with me. Yeah, so like I said, you have anything you want to talk to me about. Honestly, also like, if you need to talk, like if you want to talk to me, my DMs are open. I had a friend on Twitter come to me and talk to me through DMs during this situation because we were both pretty broken, and we had a nice long talk, and honestly we're still talking, and you know, we're honestly, I feel really close to her because of that. But I'm just saying, like, if you have something you want to talk to and you feel comfortable talking to me because, you know, you relate to me through my videos, other videos I've done, or whatever the case is, and you feel like you could talk to me, please DM me. And honestly, even on Twitter in general, if you feel like you want to like talk to me and say something to me, talk to me. I will always respond to you guys. Like a lot of people have told me like, oh my god, I can't believe you answered my respond to my tweet or commented back at me, and I'm like, I have no life. Like I have no friends. Like if you talk to me, like literally just know like we are gonna be talking like face to face. I will see it and we will talk. So yeah, so if you feel comfortable talking to me and you want to talk to me, I'm here for you as well. I know it's like we're all going through our hard times and we're all dealing with this in different ways, but I just want to, honestly, I made this video for my subscribers and people who watch my videos and want to know my opinion. So if you're watching this, you're not a subscriber and you're kind of judging me, this video then wasn't for you, okay? So just chill. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna record some other videos today. In case you haven't noticed, this video is a little higher quality than my other videos because I hadn't have a new camera. So I'm excited to do some new reactions with it, but I wanted the first video I do on my new camera to be for Jonghyun. That's all I gotta say, I think. Alright guys, catch you in the next video.